SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Never take your heart health for granted. For just $99, you can get a complete screening and know your risks. Call 601-249-5198 to schedule your Happy Healthy Heart screening at Southwest Mississippi Regional Medical Center.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right. Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Part 2 today with two powerhouse women in Mississippi, and they're givers. They do it because of the love of the game, and I'll get to that in a second. Superior Catfish, talking about putting the love into those little guys. Please go to superiorcatfish.com, produced right here in Mississippi. And visit Mississippi.org as the umbrella of what today's ladies do. They have a lot to do with everything to do with tourism, and it all adds up to people coming and visiting. And these two girls are in two of our towns that, well, they don't get to sleep at night. It is part 2, by the way. We have Executive Director of Visit Oxford, who has been in that role since 2019, though she's been working with the organization all the way back since 2009, so she's been there a while. She's been the driving force behind Oxford's rise as a choice destination in the Southeast. She's a proud grad of Ole Miss with a fitting degree in hospitality management. I love that. She got her start working with events in her hometown of Tupelo and has been building that passion ever since. Under her leadership, Visit Oxford has earned her a long list of major accolades, including being named Tourism Office of the Year, both by the Southeast Tourism Society and the Mississippi Tourism Association in 2022. Her team has been recognized for everything from the best-in-class marketing to standout partnerships. And just this year, Oxford was named Best Small College Town by the USA Today. That's Kenny Ferris. Stand by. All the way over there at Hell State. She is the Director of Tourism for the partnership in Starkville. She brings years of experience at both state and local levels with a passion of promoting the places that makes Mississippi special. I met her years back when I started serving as the music culture ambassador. So it's been a while, and now she's made her move back to her college town. She is just all about premier destination for conventions, sporting events, cultural experiences, and while keeping the focus on strengthening local economy. That's what it's all about. Thanks to her leadership, Starkville has earned multiple state-level honors and beyond, including Tourism Partnership of the Year and awards for small and large festival events of the year, plus recognition for having the best overall digital media campaign at the Governor's Conference on Tourism. Her career path has also included impactful roles with Visit Hattiesburg, the home of the Southern Mississippi, and Mississippi Development Authority. The list goes on and on, so I want to get to it right now. Before I do that, I'm being pulled out of retirement in the national anthem, and I will be doing the national anthem with my team at Pearl River Resort at the Southern Mississippi State game. Have mercy, here I go again. Let's welcome in Kenny Ferris, hanging out in Oxford, Paige Hunt, hanging out in Starkville. What's up, girls?
No, glad to know you're doing the anthem. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Listen, my last anthems were Lambeau Field and Monday Night Football in Green Bay, and very, very, very cold, and then the Detroit Motor Speedway. So I just decided that I've done it so many times, you know, but I felt like it was time for the new generation to have it. And I've always been moved and honored to do it. But my buddy Matt Perkins at Pearl River Resort said it's time, and I said, okay, I'll do it. Oh. But I'm thrilled. I'm always grateful to do it. You know, you got to go into voice rest mode. I'm not a lot of fun until it's over, and then maybe I'm too much fun when it's all over, because you have to have a voice, you know.
I would think so.
Like, you know what my last anthem experience was? I'm still in traumatic shock They announce all the race car drivers. We're in Detroit. The priest is up there doing the invocation. All the drivers are up there. Or the last thing he says after the invocation, he goes, "Hey, buddy, don't forget the words." And I looked at him, I said, "I'm on national TV." And then the announcer, he didn't say Steve Azar. I think it was Azar or something. So I had all that going on in my mind while I was trying to focus on doing the national anthem. And I was drinking cough medicine because I had a vicious cold. So anyway, it wasn't the greatest experience, but I got through it. I told one of the drivers, I think it was Denny Hamlin, to push Father off the stage. Anyway, he
That's
didn't.
funny.
I know we didn't get a chance to talk about questions that are probably boring to you, and you probably get it asked by everybody, but I think they're important. So, Kenny, I want to start with you. You've been with Visit Oxford since 2009, and now you're the executive director. How has that organization, since you started, and now that you're in the role of running the show, how has that evolved, and how has it the personality been shaped off of all these experiences and mentors you've had?
Sure. Wow. I think really the major change has been just the growth. When I first started, we were kind of a conglomerate. So it was the CVB. So it was the Convention and Visitors Bureau and tourism. And tourism was not generally, I mean, it had a seat at the table, but it kind of didn't. So that has been a big shift for us about 15 or so years ago. So that kind of put us as like a standalone within our city government, which was huge. And then fast forward, so we didn't even really have like a seat at the table, if you will. And then, the last economic development meeting that I was in with our mayor, she said tourism is our biggest industry in Oxford. So, it's just been really interesting to watch the progression and the growth of visitors who come here. I mean, we have 1.6 million visitors that came to Oxford last year. And so,
hey, they were just in the
growth.
I'm just messing with
but seeing that growth is, something that we're really proud of here at our office. And, that's kind of the biggest thing as far as, people who've shaped me. They're so many. I mean, I've been fortunate to do a lot of education, Southeast Tourism Society, Marketing College, and learned from veterans, in our industry of what they did at their home towns and how they kind of made their tourism product, not just, a great place for people to visit, but a great place for, the citizens who live there. So, yes, it's crowded when there's football game. There are some citizens who don't like that, but how can tourism be something that helps them? And so learning how to kind of educate our local community on, hey, we're on the same team. We're here for you. Things that visitors provide to you in economic development are things that you actually don't have to pay for as a citizen. And so once we kind of were able to turn that tide, and that was a big shift. I mean, it was tourism wasn't always liked. And so that's been a big shift and something that we're also really proud of here. But I would say that, all the education kind of like getting out of our little microcosm, of what we do and seeing on a national level or regional level what other people are doing that have the same issues. They're just on a bigger scale has really helped me lead this team in that way.
Well, I got a question, and I want to understand, where does it get lost in translation that the power of people coming to visit and the money they spend? Our buddy Luke Chambly, he's a friend of mine. I love him. I've had him on my show. I love him. I'm a fan of everything that he's building around the, Southeast right now in hotels. Yeah. I know he gets excited when it's game weekend or any weekend. So you want your hotels filled up with festivals and events. Obviously, Double Decker, I played that years ago. It was the coolest festival. I felt like the town was like on top of you,
Yeah.
But I'm confused and wondering where it would have ever not been like the most important thing for any town.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure Paige has experienced this too. I think all tourism directors have at some point. There's people who don't like change. And so when, if you're kind of a secret destination and then people figure you out and then you make national TV for great football or whatever it is that puts you kind of on the map, our friend Luke wouldn't care. But there's a lot of citizens who, they're not big travelers. They don't go to a lot of places. And so they think, how can my hometown be somewhere people want to come and they're in my way. They took my parking
Right.
place, or they took my table at my restaurant. It's kind of the chicken or the egg a little bit, or like they can't see the forest for the trees. And so, but it's generally people who probably aren't very well traveled themselves, and they just can't think of it in that way.
Paige, hold that thought, Paige, because don't forget that thought. We got to take a quick break. Stand by with that. Paige Hunt, she's hanging out in Starkville. Kenny Ferris, all things, both of them tourism. She's in Oxford. They're the rock stars of their towns, and to be honest with you, of our state. Wesley Smith, I agree, you are as well. Come on, visit Mississippi.org. Big old smile on Rochelle's face today. Let's visit Mississippi.
When I'm away from you, it's just a waste of time.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
We're going to put a big old shining light on a couple of our great college towns. Two of the best in the country, to be honest with you. And I really appreciate them taking part too with me. Paige, what were you going to say going into the break there?
I was saying that, a mild inconvenience, because when you have visitors in college towns like Kenny and I live in Starkville and Oxford, you feel it and you see it. I think that's the difference in, say, a Starkville and an Oxford versus an Austin, Texas, right? Is you really feel the impact of visitors. And I think part of our job is conveying to our local residents that those minor inconveniences of you not being able to find not have to wait a little bit longer at your favorite dining establishment or whatever the case may be, translates into dollars for your economy. And Kenny touched on this a little bit, and it provides tax relief for those residents. The visitors' economy and the spending that visitors bring to an economy that's free new money that wouldn't have been there otherwise.
Exactly.
And so I think it's part of our job is to say, yes, we understand that more people means more people, but more people also means more money for our economy. And so that's one of the challenges that we have to do. And Kenny made a great point about folks who maybe don't travel as much and aren't exposed to what those sort of visitor destinations can bring and be for residents. Because if a place is good for visitors, it's going to be good for residents. If you're a popular tourist destination, you're going to be a great place to live.
Hey, Paige, now it's your turn on the hot seat. So you work on local level first and state levels and state levels and tourist. And now you're back to Starkville. How has that whole journey shaped the approach of the way you do things?
Well, I mean, it's a running joke that I'm the Wikipedia of tourism. I just love it so much. I've just gone around the state. And I loved working at Visit Mississippi. It's wonderful. But there's something about being in a local community and being boots on the ground and seeing the work you do on a daily basis impact, my life, my friends and family lives. I get a lot of fulfillment from being at a local level and being a positive force in the community that I live in. And I mean, I love Starkville, Mississippi. It's my favorite place on earth. And so to get to, I joke that I sell fun for a living because that's essentially what we do.
I love that.
Tourism directors in college towns. I mean, it might be a convention. It might be, a family reunion. It might be a sporting event. But at the end of the day, we're selling the fun aspects of why you want to have that event or why you want to spend your time or why you want to spend your dollars in Starkville, Mississippi's college town. So just seeing that at the local level is just really impactful, and getting to work with the local officials, because I think Kenny would probably echo this. The folks that work in state government and in local government are really doing it for the love of the community. I mean, our local elected officials, our aldermen have full-time jobs. This is something they do in addition to it. Our mayor is a full-time mayor. But just the folks doing this for the betterment, it fills my cup, Steve. It fills my cup.
I love it. Well, both of you, first of all, y'all have got great passion for your towns. This is where you went to school. So I get it. I love that. I love hearing that. It warmed my heart, by the way you said it. For both of y'all, Kenny, start with you. You've got Taylor, Mississippi. And then you've got Paige. You've always had West Point with the great George Bryan, who I think about. He's in my prayers every day. I really got to know him when I moved back, but I always knew who he was for many years and respected him from afar until I got to give him a big hug, and that was a game changer for my life. He was so beautiful. So you have your towns in Starkville. How important is it to have Taylor doing what it's doing, Kenny, first? And then I want to ask the same question about how has West Point impacted Starkville? So start with you, Kenny.
Yeah. I think it goes back to the previous question when I was talking about just the growth. Taylor now, I have friends that live there, a lot of friends that live there, and, they're doing their life there. They're raising their families. Taylor Grocery, of course, is kind of, the staple and always has been.
Sure.
A lot of years ago when I was in college, we would ride out there, and that was kind of a thing to do. And, it still is. We get to take our kids now, and it's super fun. But now we have plein air, and we've got a wonderful dining, establishment with Grit out there, and more to come. Hopefully Lusco's will open soon. And so we've just got, there's just a lot of energy. Wonderbird Spirits, our gin distillery is out there.
We were at a wedding there recently. A good friend of mine, Ken Purpose's son, was married there, and it was just awesome.
It's absolutely beautiful. That would be a great setting for a wedding for sure. It's very peaceful. And so, it's funny when I take visitors out there, writers from time to time. At first, they're thinking, where are you taking me? On this little 2-lane road. And then we get there, they're like, it's a 10-minute drive. That's no big deal. I sit in traffic for that long, in Nashville or Atlanta or wherever they're from. And I'm like, you're not going to be sitting in traffic, to do this. And then
if I start twitching right now, Kenny, you just mentioned Nashville, I'll start twitching in a minute, but that's all right. I'll be okay in a minute. Yeah.
I know. It's super important. It's something that we promote. It's not something we get tax dollars, directly from.
I get it.
But we benefit from it. And so, one day they might have their own tourism tax out there. I hope for them that they do, because I know what a difference it can make. But we promote it because if you're coming to visit, we want you to experience everything about Oxford. That's a big thing to experience. And they're likely going to stay here and kind of hub and spoke, as we call in the industry, and go, to these places that are close by. So it means a lot to us.
It's a piece of y'all's puzzle. Which is very
absolutely
cool. All right, Paige, what about you with West Point?
Well,
and Waverly and Mossy Oak?
The beauty of a visitor is visitors don't know and don't care about city and county lines. And so, as your listeners know, Starkville sits with Columbus and West Point in what we like to call the Golden Triangle. We work together on economic development projects and things. West Point has a wonderful tourism and Main Street director. Lisa Klutz does a great job, and Columbus has Francis Glenn running the show over there. And we talk regularly, and we work together regularly. That's a difference between, say, West Point and Starkville versus Oxford and Taylor, is that they've got professional staff there. But West Point ties in nicely with Old Waverly. Mississippi State has a phenomenal golf course. Is one of the very few universities that has a professional golf management major.
Sure.
You can graduate with a golf management degree from Mississippi State. And the students in that program help run the golf course at Mississippi State. So if you're planning like a guys weekend, a golf weekend, it would make perfect sense. And we sell this as an itinerary of doing, golfing at Mississippi State, but then also, you know, going to Old Waverly and West Point, and even you mentioned our friends at Pearl River Resort. You know, they've got great. It's only an hour and 10 minutes from here.
Yes, exactly.
So, you know, packaging. I think the way regionalism works best is either by close proximity, like Taylor and Oxford, or, for instance, with West Point and Starkville, is packaging those assets that go well together for different travelers. And I mean, I'll just be honest, you know, I love Anthony's. It's one of my favorite. It's
sure.
in West Point. So we've got a lot of folks that like to drive over and go to Anthony's because it's such a unique steakhouse experience. Now, of course, we want them to go to Restaurant Tyler and Taste and you know, Harvey's and all of our staples as well. But, you know, as we were talking earlier, when those busy weekends come and we've got to sell out with a football or a baseball series, it also allows for a little bit of ease on the influx of visitors that we have as well.
Okay, I feel bad because I didn't include Columbus because I was thinking about George and everything he built there. First of all, Columbus was where my 6th grade YMCA team, all-star team, won the first state championship that we won. So shout out to Columbus. Also, I spent way too many nights at the Landing, if I recall, with my friends when we go to Starkville. So trust me, I love Columbus.
I'm going to interject here, Steve.
Yeah.
For those of us of a certain age, there is the Landing has opened in Starkville on University Drive in the Cotton District, steps from campus. You can go up on the rooftop balcony.
God, that's crazy.
And see Davis Wade Stadium.
Wow.
So you gotta come back for the Landing 2.0. You don't have to go to the Crossroads anymore. It's in Starkville.
I got a shout out to my man Hobie, who's now putting my Bloody Mary mix in his place as well. Hobie's
got a new location in the Cotton
Yeah,
District.
he's got a new location. I love it. And so y'all get to have I don't have to be me till Monday Bloody Mary mix in there. And to that, also Pearl River Resort has blown it up for us. So that Monday's been their theme, and it's been a blessing to be with them. Superior Catfish is a blessing. There's catfish, there's Superior Catfish. Yeah. Go to superiorcatfish.com and visit Mississippi.org. Big old smile on their face with my guest today, Kenny Ferris, Tourism Oxford, Paige Hunt, Tourism Starkville. They rock and roll both towns. We'll be right back.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
From the Seabrook Bank. In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Grateful for my team over there, Superior Catfish. Been there a couple times. Paige Hunt, my guest today, all things Starkville Tourism, runs a show. Kenny Ferris, all things Oxford for tourism there. But Superior Catfish folks, they love what they do so much. I mean, everybody had a smile on their face. And no wonder, because it's fantastic. SuperiorCatfish.com. Visit Mississippi.org. We are celebrating tourism on steroids today, and these two girls have got it in their veins, and it's now in their DNA. So any children, everybody they affect for the rest of their lives will have the spirit of the towns and the creative economy. And Paige, I know we talked about your hometown and how it shaped you for tourism and all that. Let's talk about partnerships, like the visit the cities in the SEC, which you've been doing. Does that help build regional tourism momentum? What's the deal there?
Absolutely. I'm gonna use some phrasing for our Visit the Cities, the SEC group that I'm gonna credit to the former tourism director of Meridian. She said that we took a great concept and turned it into a great product. And I thought that was a really interesting way, because that group started as a way to share ideas and best practices as we were coming out of the pandemic. As you know, tourism was the first impacted. So, and it's just sort of morphed into this product, but I think it ties into that regionalism because, again, as I said earlier, and as we've alluded to here, that visitors don't know or care about city and county lines, but also we know those folks that are going to athletic events as their sort of family vacations. They're visiting all the cities within the SEC. And so it just makes sense for us to talk to each other. And I'm personally, invested in that. That's how I grew up. We didn't go to the beach for spring break. We went to the SEC basketball tournament every year. Yeah. So that has been my travel. I have seen some amazing places across the United States, from Oregon to West Virginia and everywhere in between, watching my Mississippi State Bulldogs play football or basketball or baseball or whatever the case may be. So knowing that that's a big traveler market is also a reason for that group to exist. And we also know that the Southeastern Conference and the SEC as a whole is such a well-known brand. And to be part of that brand is just helpful for all of us. I think as we can talk about, Starkville and Oxford are the smallest destinations in the Southeastern Conference by population, but not
quality over quantity.
That's what I was just about to say, Chief.
Yeah, no. Quality. I was gonna try to figure a song way to reverse it, but it's not gonna work, the writing part. No, quality over quantity, always with Mississippi, from our athletes to our people. Don't get me started, but go ahead.
Right. Mm-hmm. We might be small in number, but in cultural and recreational activities, we blow it out of the water. Yeah. So I think that's something that has also been helpful for us as we work together. And look, I love hearing from Kenny, and I talk regularly. How are you doing this? How are you doing that? We all talk in the Mississippi tourism industry. And so it helps us to be connected to our friends at other bureaus, just for the work that we do, to promote the things that we have, to make our destination easier to navigate for visitors coming to it. There's nothing more intimidating for somebody who's not been on a college campus in a while than to venture onto a college campus. And they're not intimidating at all. They're actually pretty easy to get around once you kind of know what you're doing.
No, you guys have done, I know y'all work with the university a great deal, right, Kenny? You guys are all,
yes.
You got to be, it's just too much there. So for you, best small college town by the USA Today, that's pretty dang cool. So when you find that out, and did they throw a big party? I like parties for when you're number one.
We probably should have thrown ourselves a party. We didn't in that case, besides just, we've used it and they've used it, for recruiting students, and, we've used it for, alumni messaging and, just trying to get more visitors to come back and, hey, relive your college years. You're not the only one who thinks this is the best college town, that kind of thing. So, it's huge. Any kind of attention that we get like that is huge. And for page 2, one of the things that helps us tremendously is the fact that we have all these televised games. The SEC network was one of the best things that really happened for us as tourism industry, professionals, because it's free advertising, so when ESPN's here, SEC's here, Paige does it too. All of us do. We get to know who are the announcers. Who are the cameramen? What do they need? Do they need B-roll? Do they need a street blocked, or what do they need? Because they are going to show Oxford and Starkville on this national stage for us, and we aren't technically paying for it, and so for us, it's huge. And Paige was talking about the cities of the SEC group that we have, and she was talking with the commissioner when she was at the media days, and he said, y'all are the more, and it just means more. Their tagline is the SEC, it just means more. Well, why does it mean more? It's a college town. There's college towns all over the United States. Well, it's because we have this rich culture in the Southeast. Mississippi, we know does, and we love it, and we're all so proud of it being Mississippians, but Alabama does,
Sure.
Georgia does, all the way to
LSU
Texas.
does,
I mean, you know,
to Texas.
yeah,
Now they're-
I mean,
You know what?
they all have their thing. And
You're
it's
saying something that
interesting.
would make y'all to reconfirm what you're saying right now. Obviously, when I'm touring all over the country, and I've really noticed it since probably 96, but when I was beginning my tour bus days, not the touring before, I would notice when we go to Michigan, we would be at a sports bar, you know, we didn't have a show till that night. Or I would notice it in the Pacific Northwest, in Portland. I mean, all over the country. I'm telling you. And so you got to go back that far. Now you can put on any game you want, practically.
Sure.
And you're in a sports bar and you can watch whatever you want because of the way the streaming and all that works.
Right.
But I'm telling you, I saw Ole Miss and State more back in the late 90s, early 2000s than you would ever believe. And now lately, it's way more, and people have a choice. So the SEC, there's something about what you just said, the culture, the environment, the word is out. There's something about our teams. Our teams pop out of the screen, or people are either drawn into it when they're not even fans of our schools. You know what ends up happening? These people will send their kids to these schools, to our schools. And so that is the beauty of that. And I think that Ole Miss and State have done the best job of any of the schools. Y'all are a big part of that. I'm telling you right now, it's making a difference. And you both know that you can look at attendance in college every year and see where these people are coming from. They're coming from Timbuktu now. You know?
Oh, yeah. It's
I mean,
wild.
it's crazy. It's crazy. I love it. I love it. But
Yeah. And most of them say they want that atmosphere. They want what the SEC provides. They want it to be a big athletics program, or they want people to kind of center their whole, like Paige said, like they want to center their whole like lives around, you know, going to watch their team within the SEC. And I think part of it too, or I've always said this for us is, I mean, we don't have National League sports here. You know, I mean, we don't have a, we don't have the Cardinals. We don't have. We don't. I mean, and so our college teams are our
pro teams.
That's what we're fanatics about.
They're being paid, by the way, now, so they are pro.
Well, they are. They are pros. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, that's a whole story for another day, right? But
yeah. I'm not going to make y'all do another interview for a while. I'm not going to do part 3.
But it does make it makes things here a little more special. And I think people feel that, or I know people feel that. They tell us when they come. I had a guy in our office that does destination marketing for a living, but he lives in Jersey. Well, his kid's coming to Ole Miss. And so he just reached out to us and said, I just want to talk to y'all about what you're doing, see if it can help me with my clients up in the Northeast. And so my marketing director and I sat down with him and we talked, and I said, how did you end up? Tell me your story. Like, how did he end up picking Ole Miss? And he said he just basically Googled who has a really amazing football atmosphere, you know, and he just wanted that because he didn't have that, because he's been going to NFL games, you know, his whole life, but he hadn't experienced, you know, that. And I thought that was great. SuperiorCatfish.com.
The little fish that you want on your plate all the time. Great folks over there in Macon, Mississippi, and visit Mississippi.org. We've got 2 of their stars, there's no doubt, that love this state so much in their towns, and we are better for it. Kenny Ferris hanging out in Oxford, Paige Hunt doing her thing in Starkville. We'll be right back.
No, I don't mind. Oh, I don't mind. Most of the time.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Homebuyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
Hey, this is Bob. Just walk.
Got a short segment left. I could talk to these girls forever. What incredible ladies they are and such compassion for our state. I'm telling you, I've gotten chills a couple times today, and it's not the temperature in the house because my wife Gwen keeps it at 90. Okay, she calls it fake air. I don't know what she's talking about. I like air conditioning. Visit Mississippi.org. I've got Kenny Ferris running things in Oxford for tourism, Paige Hunt running things for tourism in Starkville. I can't believe they get along like they do. This is kind of exciting. This would be a good example for all my friends out there who go to war against each other. This is like beautiful to see. But I know they compete against each other, but I love the fact that it sounds like you two guys, as much as it's competitive, y'all have formed a great bond and teamwork between the two of you. With everything that you're doing, I feel like that when you're together, it's a pretty powerful thing. Paige, what do you think about that?
Oh, I mean, Kenny and I have been friends since she started at Visit Oxford in 2009. So we go back a long way, and it's a running joke that I say that Bulldogs and Rebels can be friends, you know. Yeah. And look, I'll be honest with you. I love going to Oxford. I love the city of Oxford. Now, I don't make any appearances at Vaught Hemingway Stadium anymore. But that's for me. I mean, my dad made something like 63 egg bowls in a row, home and away.
Wow.
And I had a lot under my belt, but I've moved on from that. But we are genuinely friends, and we genuinely like each other. But that comes from a place of mutual respect as well. Yeah. We're both very passionate about the work that we do and how important it is for the communities that we live in. And it's a whole lot of fun. But I did want to say, like Kenny was talking about the accolades we get, those sorts of accolades, like they got best college town and we got best small town in the South. Yeah. So those accolades are we can use them for, like Kenny was saying, recruiting and getting visitors. But it's also just nice to be recognized for the work that we're doing, because we know those things, right? And so I'm always thrilled when Oxford wins awards. I know Kenny's excited when we win awards in Starkville. Our teams on the field might be competitors, but in the world of destination marketing, we rely on each other and each other's expertise and the things that we bring to the table. So we probably blow up the whole rivalry thing, you know.
What about when you guys are talking nice right now because it's summertime? How's it get going and when it's game time
Okay, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to jump in here before Kenny gets it. So Kenny is a lot nicer than I am. Like, she's a lot sweeter and a lot kinder. Like, I don't pull for Ole Miss ever in anything.
Wow.
I love Oxford. I pull for Oxford.
Well, what about like our two baseball teams went back to back like they did? I mean, and then Pearl River Community College was booked in. Paige, you can't tell me that you weren't excited for. Wow, man, I don't know. I get excited. I got to tell you. Well, I went to Delta State, and I love my Fighting Okra, but I also love all my schools. I love Southern Mississippi. Back in the day, I used to go watch Jerry Rice, the old quarterback that played in J.Z. George, Willie Satellite Totten. That was the greatest thing in the world, watching Valley State play back when we were growing up. Willie was in our conference growing up. I'm telling you right now, we do have some magic when it comes to that. Especially with football, but I just saw a little competitive edge. There it is, right there.
That's my raisin.
Kenny, what do you think about that?
My daddy would not be happy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's probably the difference. I mean, my parents went to state, and then I went to Ole Miss, and my brother's from state. So, I mean, I'm kind of either way.
Really?
But
yeah, you're screwed up.
Daddy told me he would pay for me to go anywhere in the whole United States except for Ole Miss.
Right. I mean, that's basically,
that's wild.
Yeah. It's so funny, but yeah, I will get, I might get a text message from Paige if state wins, with a little edge. And then I just say, we'll talk tomorrow, you know,
you probably have to take 24, Kenny, before you text her how you really feel.
We're very excited about baseball season and the Carnegie Hall of college baseball.
You should be.
And Coach O'Connor and our baseball.
You should be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great Virginia. Yeah, y'all are in good shape. Visit Mississippi.org. The team there, man, I love you guys, and so grateful that Kenny Ferris is running the show, All Things Tourism in Oxford. Paige Hunt has got the
there is a gavel.
Forget that. Let's say running the gamut with all things tourism in Starkville. I appreciate you girls. Thank y'all for doing part 2 of In a Mississippi Minute.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
Military Matters.
A new warning from the Government Accountability Office that the U.S. industrial base's reliance on Chinese parts needed for most U.S. military weapons poses a national security threat the Pentagon continues to ignore. The Defense Department relies on more than 200,000 global suppliers to build weapons, but federal contractors are not contractually obligated to tell DoD from where their manufacturing components originate, like the titanium needed to build nuclear submarines, which often comes from hostile nations like China. In April, President Trump tasked Defense Secretary Hegseth to spearhead a strategy on how to reduce dependence on China by this October, a deadline that is fast approaching. Last year, the production of the F-35 fighter jet came to a standstill for months when Chinese magnets were found in the warplanes and the Pentagon had to find alternative suppliers. For Military Matters at the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now. You're listening. A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.